Welcome to the Your Message Received podcast. And now, taking your message to the finish line, your host, John Duffin.
Hey folks, John Duffin here with a very special edition. Do you remember that? Of the podcast, Your Message Received. Your Message Received is the place, the home, the platform to help you find your best business voice. Heck, your best voice. Get what you want, find what you need, find way cool people, which is why we keep getting to do all this stuff. And as you can see, if you're watching this episode, we've got somebody praying over us right now. So here you go. And I get to bring my buddy and partner in crime and recurring guest, which sounds like a side. It's more than recurring guest. Absolutely a friend of the show. Partner, Jay Duran from Culture Matters. Welcome, buddy.
Thank you. This is awesome.
It is awesome. So, folks, what you're watching, as we call this a very special edition, is the side-by-side bit. By the way, that is new.
We're in person.
We are at one of Jay's many visionary, of I don't want to call it a project, but homes, we'll say. And folks, if you have listened or watched any of our previous episodes, there's so much impact that Jay delivers in regards to just what he does professionally, corporately, and also philanthropically. It's tough for me to get that word out. So the fact is, that's why we're here. Jay, what I want to ask you first and foremost is this: as we get to be in the home in Philadelphia, PA today. I'm the local guy in this regard. And so you see things and you have an energy and an aura that drives you to places and things and opportunities. What first drew you to North 10, which is where we happen to be right now?
I want to read a quote.
Great.
Thank
God.
I don't. This quote here: I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the waters to create many ripples. Mother Teresa.
There you go.
A relationship with the founder of North 10th, who just impacted me with their ear and their sight and their care and their love and their mentorship. That would be Chase Lenfest. And my story, feeling like I wish I had a hand up, not a handout, as a young man trying to figure out who I was and where I came from and how I was going to make a mark in the world and create success and wanting to be somebody and something. And when I'm thinking about North 10th and the community backbone and the idea of helping young adults, children, even adults that have not had it work out, there's been, I have a personal feeling like, I would have loved for someone. It's funny in one sense I would have loved for someone to see me younger and say, how can I help this young man? But that's BS because people did. I had so many of those people that saved me from myself, from poor choices, from mistakes. I still have to learn the hard way and still do to this day. And like the idea of helping kids is deeply personal to me. And it just so happened that I had a relationship, someone I cared about and loved, and just, in happenstance met randomly on the streets of Philadelphia like 6 years ago. And when it became into my knowledge that I could actually make a difference and do something, because it wasn't just private, it was public. And now it's open to everyone. Hey, you can contribute, not just money, which is very important, because money moves.
Exactly. Things get done with money.
But intellectual property, time. So that's a long answer, but it's deeply emotional for me. So I need to like write it out, meditate it out, like it's therapy. It's, giving is a part of culture. So how can I have a company, Culture Matters, that not give in culture? But it's funny. I want to say it's not about me. This is about other people, but it is about me too, because I want to live a life as a giver. Like I take a lot because as a business owner, right? Even though we're serving, we get a lot in relation to the service. And that's not a bad thing. But, how do I burden the taking or really the accepting of payment? There's another level. It's like, okay, what can I give too? Money, time, energy. So I want to do anything where there's kids involved. I want to do anything where there's young people because of my story. I mean, that's not crazy leap of psychology. And it's like you meet somebody, like we met randomly.
Yeah.
Now we're friends for life. You meet somebody, you trust their heart. And if we're talking about philanthropy, nonprofit, I want to trust the heart of the founders, of the leadership. I want to believe in their heart. And you build a relationship with somebody for years. You figure out quickly, are they genuine or not? Excuse me, are they genuine or not? So you don't have to sell something if it's real.
See, I love that. And folks, a little bit of behind the scenes, the way this got set up that really has mattered and impacted me. Meaning today, this episode, this conversation, this side-by-side thing, right? That there's a lot less randomness that I'm noticing and a lot more intentionality, even if it feels random. What do I mean? So the behind the scenes part, the setup of the event. We talked about this on prior episodes, meeting up for this gala. Jay and I have been together. We just talked about physically us sitting side by side has been years. So
it's crazy.
It's crazy that we see each other all the time, but literally being together has been years. So why bring it up? Because the intentionality is so powerful. Jay, one of the things that Jay did in essence, and as a quick recap, was gather a group of people. And you could call that random, but there was nothing random about it. That got us to North 10. North 10 is a great organization in Philadelphia. The link will be on this episode for folks, for you to learn more. I want to add, though, which is the intention for me of today was just the sense of the intentionality. I watched Jay as we got together early this morning, showing me a series of communications that keep going out. I saw a series of communications that went out for us to get together for this event. So what I wanted to ask you was that when you are making choices in regards to, say, for instance, who's coming to this event, who could go to this event, is it intentional in your eyes? What do you see? What draws you to people to share in what you are seeing?
I think that I think this is bigger than any event.
Right.
Like to me, giving is, if I'm not giving, I'm taking, and I'm inherently taking, even if I'm providing value.
How so? How are you taking if you're providing
Because
value?
there's responsibility with what I get from providing value.
Okay.
Like, okay, I've not been successful, meaning can't pay the bills, can't make the business work.
Me too.
Don't feel like anyone understands what I'm trying to do. Constantly feeling, shame and doubt as an entrepreneur. It becomes a reactive. It becomes, it's like I'm, victim or like angry, and it's this lonely road.
Okay.
You know what a solution for that was for me emotionally was to give. Like, smile is free.
Right.
It's that extra question to a stranger or an old friend. It might be money. Like, because if I can't part with mine, how am I going to ask? So, okay, now you start succeeding, where success is like, you can eat, you have shelter, and you're doing what you want to do. That's a basic, even I would say that's a base success. You have, because think about outside of that, it's all ego. And so hold on, it's just, you have water, you have food, and now you do what you want to do.
Yep.
But now when you have all this extra resource, I think there's something about that's helped me become more responsible and self-aware to say, what can we give? So then it becomes, well, how do we make impact? And then it's who do we partner with, and what drives them. And I think that giving is a part of culture. So if we're gonna, if I'm gonna be a student and an advisor to culture, I better be a giver, and we better be a giving organization as we grow. And so the spirit of giving is, I don't want to be a taker, so I got to give, and I want to burden the opportunities that come as we succeed. I want to be able to burden those and be responsible for those, and giving is a part of that.
Where did you, because there is an arc here. So going back to prior, not childhood, but what I mean is when you've been formulating the business and you're trying to make it work, and you say that part of culture is giving, it is. Where did you find the bandwidth then? Because my thought is,
that's good.
You worry about different things when your arc is breaking to make the business work. And I'm always curious that for people that do, and then to add an element of giving.
Well, it means I can't do a lot of dumb things. Like when you're adding things on, if I'm adding things on my plate, it means I'm taking other things off. So much of our time in life, whether we work for ourselves or other people, is spent because of our relationship with time. We're not doing anything, and we think we're doing things.
Right. So
I just think,
work, right?
Think about how easy it is to waste 6 hours in a day not working on one's business or working for one's employer, and then the opportunity for consumption, for digressing into partying. I've done all that dumb stuff where it's Thursday, and all of a sudden I think I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm off,
right?
And there's maybe those that are farther along in their journey that can financially afford and socially afford to do that, and you're sucked into that distraction. So I think, where do you find the time? It's like giving up things that don't serve me in the long run, that appeal to me in the short run.
Okay.
Like all sorts of vice.
Well, right.
That actually, giving that up, sacrificing for the short run. Now new behaviors could get, come on, anybody could go give their time at a soup kitchen.
Right.
On a Friday night, or Saturday morning, instead of being hungover from, or whatever, from the night before. Anybody could do that.
But then I go back to the bandwidth. You could.
Yeah.
But my thought is, what makes this and you different is the sense that you made a conscious choice. And even when you make choices, sometimes, I'm speaking from my own experience, nothing more, is that those choices could be difficult.
I would say,
simply because, like, if you're feeling tired or beat up or whatever, and it's like,
if you're not a giver, don't give. Continue taking until the world forces you to look at yourself. That would be my advice. If none of this resonates with you, take as much as you can. Take from the people closest to you, take from your enemies, take from your competition, take from your employees, your customers. Keep taking.
Even the look on your face is perfect.
Just keep doing, right? Okay. Just keep doing what's working for you. And if at some point the world will force you to give.
So
that's my theory.
So let's stay with that.
I made enough mistakes where I'm forced to be a giver.
Okay. So when do you remember when you realized?
I don't want to take the credit. I don't even know, epiphany, revelation.
And what I was going to say is, well, thank you. But I was going to say more than that. It's like when you realized, all right, I can find bandwidth. That's what I was going to say. For somebody, that's all. When did you realize you could add extra space into everything that's going on in your head, in your mind, in your reading and all that stuff? You're like, oh, I got more room, apparently.
Never even thought about it.
Do you think you're more of an inherent, like it just occurred?
I think you want to get something done, give it to the busiest person. That said,
okay, right.
I'm procrastination. Ben Franklin, Art of Living in Yesterday, Avoiding Today and Destroying Tomorrow. And
give me that quote again.
The art of living in yesterday, avoiding today, and destroying tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah, and procrastination is something that at one point I used to say I'm one of the best procrastinators that exists. I had puffed my chest a bit because there's a creative, that level of self-delusion. There's a creative element to the artistry, and like I'll get to that later. I'm thinking, and so it's like, no, I'm entitled. Things have come into me naturally in life. I had too much love, and I better not take that for granted. I've been given love in this life by my families, by everybody. If I don't give it, and I'm going to hold it in and, let my, we all have a story, something that pisses us off or we can be resentful for. I'm not going to let that hold back my light. I think that has to do with your question, because it's not even a thought. It's like my conscience, there's an impulse that says, do this. I'm intuitive. Everything I do is based on passion and emotion.
Let's stay with that.
That's why I have a wife that has a high logic.
Well,
so I'm just saying, like, I'm like intuitive. This is me. It's all who I am. And now, who am I? I'm not going to take all that credit. That's my family. That's God. That's a gift. That's a blessing.
So using your intuition, what you've also been able to do, and I've been a benefactor of that, is find people that fit the giving part too, without shoving it down their throats or without turning it into a you thing. You see things in people, including in this specific organization and others as well. So I don't know if I'd call it making the pieces fit, or it's just a strong appreciation for intuition, or what. I'm not sure. But what I realize is you're able, as a conduit, that's the word I want, is you're a conduit. And you have this unique ability to pick specific people. How are you able to do that? Whether it's this organization or others, how are you able to see they be a good fit? You should talk to them. That's what, like, it's not just the doing of it. How do you know?
Something I think, well, I've worked on this with intention.
Okay.
With the Culture Matters podcast to listen, which isn't just letting people finish speaking. It's not just not interrupting. It's not just asking that next question. It's not just preparation. It's not just curiosity. It's all those things, and then the practice of. And I don't know all of the things that it is, because I'm a student as I'm going through. I think listening to people, like you are honoring me today with this conversation, has helped me slow down and hear what is unsaid. And like that coupled with, I want to see people succeed and thrive and be better. Where does that come from? I go back to, that's a gift. That's, the mentors that I've had, the teachers, that's the point of this. All the people that have helped me not go in the dark path that would make me feel inspired and able to respond, responsible to organization like North 10, Lenfest Center, young adults, children, like little Jays, and obviously there's women and other little potential. So that would be my answer. Listening, I scrolled off, but listening helps connect the dots, and then I give it, like, wanting to see the best for people. If that doesn't resonate with you, my advice would be to continue taking as much as possible, and the world will, I think the world will
let you know.
It'll tell you what you need. It'll tell you what you need. That would be my answer.
I love it. So what I'm thinking is that the gift is, again, I think, identifying, maybe it's just simply problem solving, that you identify people that come in, rather than a sense of mass emails and those sorts of things.
Compassion and empathy cut and clarify. They move away the fog. It's not just, we're all smart people. We have gifts that we don't even recognize. Our stories, our narratives, our emotions, our resentments, that can put the smoke screen in. Imagine you have all these connections, but you can't see them because there's smoke. Like, love clears away that smoke, and you can see the connections. I believe that somebody that wants to change can change in an instant if they Is it a choice? Is it letting go? Is it an acceptance? Is it a taking a knee? Is it, is it a faith? And what relationship do we have as counterparts to somebody that wants to change, that wants to be better? We could be there with them, or we could kick them to the curb.
Okay.
It's like, I'm not going to be the person that kicks the person to the curb.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be the person that gets down there with them.
What of all of those attributes?
I might get kicked in the face while I'm doing that, by the way. Somebody might have to.
So my guess is you probably already have. In terms of, so how do you then, it's like, for me, you talk about the smoke and all that sort of thing. That's really not making this too heavy, but that's one of the things that I was thinking about, was that everybody wants to, right?
By the way, are we recording?
I have to literally check and make sure. And the answer is yes.
Okay. I just, I was going to ask. This is a great conversation.
All right. I appreciate that. And by the way, folks, that you can know, you won't know which ones, but there was at least 2 examples where the answer was no.
It happens to the best of us.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I scrolled off there,
no, don't be sorry. But like I said, this is the part of the gift of a friendship and of somebody who's thinking and cares. Speaking of giving, you literally did that for me, because if the answer was no, then we could have at least.
I mean, I really wanted to know.
Right. So in terms of, so now, folks, now that you know, we're recording. It's all
I'm
live.
Just so sick of, like, I don't want to be anybody else than myself on these things.
Me neither.
Like, I have no interest.
Well, that's why I'm talking about the smoke.
I want to give who I am to the world so I can grow and get better.
What changed for you, even if it was recently, where you felt like your head was clearer? Because I really feel like, for myself, speaking for me, that there are phases when I'm crystal clear and giving is easy. And then there are times when I feel the smoke literally in front of me. And then it's like, I run out of the bandwidth.
I don't even know if I'm giving, if we're giving, if it doesn't hurt a bit.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Am I really giving if it doesn't hurt? Mm-hmm. No. It's like, this is like, it's a personal relationship. I'm trying to figure that out. What is the relationship? What does giving even mean? There's a sacrifice. I mean, if something hurts, that means I'm not doing something else. Mm-hmm. Maybe, and it's separation between needs and wants.
Right.
And then it's a conversation of if I'm in a position where I'm lacking confidence, esteem, resources, well, what's going to get me confidence, esteem, resources? Mm-hmm. Resourcefulness, self-esteem, competence. Mm-hmm. Well, then it becomes a thing. Do I need to be well capitalized to be resourceful? Well, not necessarily. Well, what does that even mean? Is it, who do I know? What do I know?
Right.
How can I help? Mm-hmm. We all know something, and we know people we could help. Do I have the esteem to go out and ask? If we're an entrepreneur, that's what we have to do. What do we know? Who do we know? How can we help? Mm-hmm. If we're an employee, it's what do we know? Well, we know who, which is our employer gave us the opportunity. Then it's, who do we know that could help us and our employer, which is the customer? And then how can we help? Well, we have our job description based on what we know.
Right.
It's like, what do we know? Who do we know? How can we help? What do we know? Who do we know? How can we help? If I feel like I lack, I might not feel like I'm in a state of giving. Money, time, but I'm here to challenge that money and time are the same thing.
Oh, okay. So it's the resourcefulness that you were talking about.
Resourcefulness is the human spirit. It's my individuality. It's if I lost everything today, what does that even mean?
Right.
What am I losing? Right. I have my life, so I haven't lost anything.
So for folks watching, listening us right now, in terms of,
the lights are,
we're having
No, keep going. Keep this live.
So that's fine. So we are very live, as you can see. Oh my God. All right. So what we learned, life lesson, folks.
You're recording a
podcast, right?
That was dramatic.
So it was either a really heavy moment.
Yeah, and then the light turned off.
Right. And you see the praying from up above. But I was going to say,
chill.
Or we have to move more. And since we're in close proximity, I didn't want to bump or elbow you. So here we are. We're back in all our lights back.
Yeah. No, that was dramatic. That could have been
maybe that was the heavy part of the resourcefulness question, or maybe it was my cue to lighten up. But what
giving is a philosophy, it's a activity, it is money, time, relationships, value, love, and I'm sorry, but I might be biased. I think and that's the paradox. I mean, you get more when you give, and then you got to give more because, whoa, that's the thing. Don't, be careful what you get, because if you get too much, what do you do with that?
People sometimes shut down. I don't mean shut down. People will I've noticed, let's speak for me and some in my circle, which is, well, I got to help my family, or I've got to, you know what I mean? I've got to get myself figured out before. You sound as if you're saying, in terms of the giving part, that it has to be a continuous, or did I hear you wrong? It's got to be a continuous. When I don't have the resourcefulness or the resources, I give. When I have the resources or resourcefulness, I have to give more, right? So if it's a continuous flow, do you get a continuous benefit?
I would think maybe Charlie Munger said, life is too unfair to give to undeserving people.
Oh my God.
So you better be
right.
I mean, you'll know if you've earned a reward based on your fruit. Like, so I don't know. That depends on the person.
That's what I wanted to draw.
And you can't see somebody's heart.
Right. So that's what I want to say, because I believe,
if you're giving the expectation of taking, you better be damn well good at giving. So meaning if you're going into giving with the expectation to take, well, then you better be the best giver ever. And I would challenge you to be a giver, because what'll happen is your heart will start to change.
Okay.
And then even if you started being like just totally like self-centered about giving, I would say that person will probably become a giver.
Okay.
Because they're doing the activity. So just if you have the expectation to take and you're give so much, you better give everything. Like, I don't know what to say, because that's the life is just constant, a challenge, because when you if you do actually give, you will get. But if that's your agenda that you're conscious of, and it's plaguing and it's driving, you better give a heck of a lot, because that's obviously that's gonna help other people that might be coming from a more genuine place. And it'll probably change. It could have the possibility to change your heart. Now, remember though, go back to the beginning.
Right.
If you're in a spirit of taking, take as much as you can. Keep taking. Take. Just keep doing that strategy. I'm going to stay in my strategy, and you do your strategy, and we'll meet somewhere
at some event.
You can take for me. I'm going to give you.
I don't for myself.
I'm an easy target. What do you need? Take.
But I also believe right. So in the take some more, right?
It's got two easy targets here. You're in a spirit of taking.
So I just be like, okay, here, I need
great. No, but that you have, that's where, but that's where honesty, that's where culture comes in, character, because it's okay to say no. It takes courage to say no.
How do you know to say no?
Conscience.
That sounds like a slick cliche.
Conscience.
Okay.
I have to deceive myself not to tell you the truth.
The sense that I want to know that, because in terms of the audience, it's like, what path are we leading them down? And it's conscious. It's the part you got to trust your instincts in regards to. There's a lot of people that are going to gleefully accept your help, right? Yeah. And then it's like, and then they'll want more. And I don't know, like for me, I used to be terrible at this. I'm a little better at when I feel as if my time or my services or whatever are being taken advantage of. I don't want to be that cynical, sarcastic sort of, I don't want people to come in or have like the heavy armor up. Like, so for you, that you're in a very giving and mindful mode, are there things that you see, like in terms of your conscious, like to bring it outside a little bit? I don't mean traits of specific people, although that would be fun to talk about, but more in terms of when you see it or feel it, what are some of the things that you feel like I should give more as opposed to give less? How do you know?
I think it goes back to, does it hurt a little bit?
Okay.
If we're going to talk about a specific cause, believing in the people, believing in
like the mission and
how
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's a big mistake to get overly caught up with what's happening. It's not like all right, where's my contribution going? That is a very important piece. Okay, because obviously effectiveness, that reveals the people, like how organized are we? Where's the heart of the people that are delivering the value to those that are in need? But there's also a relationship between myself and the act.
Yeah.
Like I need to be able to part from what I've accumulated from my sacrifice of trade. It's because it forces me to look at myself. Then there's also who am I partnered with in giving, right? What cause are we promoting? And so I identify personally with, like I said earlier, young children.
Got it.
Based on my personal story. I believe I don't want to overthink and say, oh, I got to be a part of this. I got to be a part of that. I got to be a part of this, or else I'm not doing anything that makes a difference. It's that quote in the beginning of Mother Teresa. It's that little ripple. It's like, here, we're in a center right now where people have young children, young adults, adults have a place that's safe, that has, there are relationships. One of the mantras I resonate with in North 10th is give a hand up, not a hand out. There's a thought behind that. It's because I believe it's both, and the order matters.
Okay.
Just like in a business, we want to be walking alongside each other if we work together, even if you're my boss, because we're here in the betterment of our own personal lives and the organization. I like hand up, not a hand out, because there's hey, here's an opportunity, whether that's capital, that's relationships, and also hand up. Here's who I am. Here's where I've come from. Here's how we could do it together. You can do this. Are you willing? Because people have to have personal responsibility as well as the opportunity to thrive and succeed. And so I identify with the mantras. I identify with the people. I identify with the values. The idea that we're in a center in an area that has adversities that we potentially could make a difference between one person or 10 or 20. The ripple effect, I know the ripple effect of one person.
Okay.
This is like the ripple effect of one person. Hello, I'm one person.
Yeah.
I know that my sacrifices in being less of a jerk and being a better person helps people, a lot of people.
Yep.
I know that because they tell me. You said it earlier.
Oh,
okay.
1,000%.
So why would I not, when a giving standpoint, why would I not believe in the idea to help one kid?
Right.
A young adult, one person, and how that could exponentially change the world. So I think, there's so much to it, but believe in the organization. So, but a decade and a half ago, this center was built in and I'm still learning, a neighborhood and an area that has its own historical adversities and opportunities or lack thereof of, I'm sure, amazing people that would love an opportunity that maybe any one of you are listening have had, to go from somewhere you didn't want to be to a better version of yourself, to a better standing in life. Just like I know, John, you've shared with me, you have, and me too.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, then it's about listening, like sitting down with kids and, hey, where are you from? What do you like?
Right.
Where do you live? What do your parents do? Oh, you don't, what were their names? Like, where do you see yourself in 10 years? What do you like to do? I don't know. Just listening. Man, I have so many damn questions, but just be there, be present. The founder of North 10th, I know, is somebody that every time I'm with Chase, and we're around the children, every time I was with him as a friend, I would see him actually care. Can't explain that. Can't sell that. And so it was not surprising when I experienced the people that work for and with North 10th, Joshua Claris,
Right.
Nikki Bagby,
Yeah.
so many other great people. Millie, we met today, and the team, Natasha, and all these other people. Chelsea, we just met all these other people that it was clear they also have that spirit of they're invested. I mean, what else can you ask for? So for those generally that are listening that are maybe not thought of giving time, money, energy, spirit, that's what I'm looking for. I'm not going to speak for you, but I'm looking for people I believe in, that I care about, that I can make a change. But at the same time, I have enough arrogance, maybe not arrogance, ego. I have a large ego that I can make a difference.
Okay.
So, and I believe that people can change. So, sometimes we get bored, we fall asleep at the wheel, and, it just takes a little bit of pep in our step to be like, oh yeah, this is why I love what I'm doing. So it's a personal thing. And I challenge you, if you're a taker, keep taking.
And I love the way you express it. What's running through my mind is the similarities, like back when you said not a handout, hand up. And then you describe like the traits tie to me so much to business success, as well as the philanthropy. And so why it matters, like I said, the culture part, stealing from my friends, culture matters. But what I was going to say is, what matters is whether you're in a good space or a bad space, whether you are, happy, unhappy, stressed, not successful, upset that other people are successful. There's always room to step up your game. And one of what I'm realizing is one of the easiest ways to step up your game is to be of service. And I've learned that in my life in terms of some personal things. And so, listen, folks, if you're doing nothing more than practicing to get yourself into a better place, there are going to be people that benefit from it. One of the nicest parts of this organization, and you introducing me to it, it's not just the purpose and the kids and all that stuff. Selfishly, a little bit of taker here coming out as well too, is that it's not a sense of looking down on people. You've got serious business minds that are trying to help. So if you really wanted to, like nothing else, absorb the business intelligence, absorb the ideas, that sort of thing. Well, the old, as you just said, pep in your step. One of the things that happens for me is you get to learn. So rather than, oh, I don't feel like giving, or I'm sad, or, whatever, right? That one of the easiest ways to get a jolt is to be around people that are moving. And what I haven't noticed here at all, ever, was a sense of patronizing. And I would believe in business, it never works if you're patronizing your leadership teams or subordinates. By the way, same thing in terms of, like I said, when you're helping other people too, that if it is that sense of, I just want to give you, and I just want that to be known, and I hope the camera's on when I'm doing that. That's the thing that I'm realizing is, that's the gift that I see in terms of with you in this situation. This is a fantastic organization, fantastic people, kind, generous, inclusive. But what I also notice is that you've got serious business minds that are looking in, masterminds that we're going to be doing. And folks, what I recommend and suggest is that you use the opportunities, not as a user, but the sense of you really want to pull yourself out of a bad situation, or you want to play catch up, you can give, you can help somebody, and that's where the selectivity is. Jay, what I would say for you is, first off, as my friend, I'm extremely grateful. I'm just lucky that I said yes a couple times. And so, Chris, I'm getting like all choked up, like a weirdo. But I was going to say that it's like, but that I was grateful to say yeah, to whether it was here, whether it was just something you said. So folks, say yeah to somebody. Jay Duran, I think you're one of the coolest people too. I love you too. Folks, I'm going to leave it at this. As I said, you want to make your life a little bit easier, help somebody else out. Listen, for God's sake.
Oh shit, we should probably say October 24th.
Do it.
There's a gathering. And
you want me to ask
can we put the link?
Really? Of course, we are going to put the link. So we're going to accelerate this
DM
first.
John and start a conversation.
That's right.
And bring me into it.
So On October the
You're
24th, there's a major gala that's going on in Philadelphia, PA. So anyone that's in the region needs to be here. Yes, we will have the link for the event because the event literally transformed me in terms of other ways. So I can speak to it extremely highly.
It's gonna be tons of fun.
It is going to be tons of fun.
excited.
Last time I was told I was the only person that wore a tux. I don't know if that was good or bad, but maybe I just didn't read the memo closely enough. I literally had a tux on. I think a couple of people
to do a 3-piece. That'd be sick.
Well, there you go, folks. Here's your opportunity. Dress with the best. Show up. And like my buddy Jay Duran, you keep showing up. Thanks very much for showing up.
This was
for me
awesome
today, brother.
I'm excited. And we met, we should say this too. Like,
do it.
We got together this morning at 6 a.m. to get over here before the culture here is so amazing.
Right.
Open up the center before it's officially open. That tells me responsibility, ownership, vision, care. There's nothing more exciting than working with people that are bought in and engaged in what they're doing.
Yep.
So thank you for me in the morning. I didn't need to sleep last night. I just waited for this opportunity. So
and this guy brings me coffee, literally brings me coffee as well. So it's all a matter of, you want to get charged up, be around people that help you to do so. And this is it. So that's where we get to do it.
See you soon.
Folks, you just heard another episode, watched another episode of Your Message Received. Keep coming back, liking, sharing, subscribing, and we will keep driving content through your door. Jay Duran, one more time. Thanks so much, buddy.
Thank you.
Hey, folks, have a great rest of the day, and we will see you soon. Bye.
And now, making its way across the finish line, Your Message Received has been a production of Duffin Media.